having me. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to sharing some of my experiences with you all. I'm going to talk about how to adapt to change. So, when I arrived here, I was a singer. And I was the Phantom of the Opera. And the theatre world that I came from is very different to this world. So, there's many changes that I needed to make that I wasn't aware of, that I'm still making, and I have to make. So, I'm going to talk about an example of how that happened. The gondoliers. When I arrived here, my job was to go and take over the gondoliers and turn a business around that was losing $500,000 US a month because nobody was taking the ride. The gondoliers were sleeping on the boats. We had issues with people that had been hired last minute to do a job that they didn't know how to do. So about a month out from the opening of the Venetian, Sheldon Adelson discovered that all of the gondoliers were being hired from the Philippines. And he wanted to make sure that there was an authentic element to the program, and he wanted to make sure that there was some Italian-looking Western faces on the gondola rides. So, with about a month ago, they had to hire 80 gondoliers out of the United States. Now, it's very difficult to find 80 people that can sing, perform, and want to work in Macau that they'd never heard of in a month. So there were people literally that had a heartbeat being put on a plane and arriving here in Macau. They couldn't sing, couldn't act, they could walk, and they could talk. So we had an issue with the performance element on the ride. So one of my first jobs was to sit down and audition all of these people and find out what talent pool we had. So I sat down with them all, auditioned them all, and discovered that there were probably only about 10 to 15 people that could actually sing. And that was an issue. So what we had to do was let go of other people. And there was this one guy in particular who I will call, say for example, Gary. Let's call him Gary. Gary couldn't sing, Gary couldn't perform, Gary wasn't a person who should have been rowing a gondola. He was a lovely person, a lovely guy. I'd auditioned him and I told him that it wasn't going to work out so well. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, you're going to have to leave. It's been great. See you next time. Gary then prepared a campaign to try and keep his job, right? His stakes were pretty high. He's like, hold on, I enjoy this job, I want to be here, I want to stay here, right? So I was getting emails daily, I was getting phone calls in the middle of the night, I was getting letters from his flatmate in the States, giving him character references, saying how fantastic he was. We had another round of auditions a week or two after this. And Gary was pleading for another chance. He said he's been working on some material, he's been working on things, please give me another chance. Please give me an opportunity to show you again. Anyway, he came in, and again, it was terrible, disaster. And he kept pushing me, and I flipped. I said, look, Gary, it was up to me, it would have been 5 weeks ago. It was up to me, none of you would have been hired in the first place. I lost it. HR called me. Tom, we need to talk. Come on down. You can't talk to people like this. You can't speak to people in that way. And you can't behave in that way. So, I was back in this world where this is normal. This is a normal way to speak to people. This is a normal way to speak to somebody who can't sing and can't dance, who wants to be in Phantom of the Opera. You watch all these talent shows all the time, right? You see it all, right? They make fun of people, I mean, which is not such a great thing, and I wasn't doing that, but if you can't do it, you shouldn't be there. And I told Gary the truth. But you can't do that. You can't lose your temper in this world. So I needed to go, right, okay, what happened there? I needed to change. I needed to adapt. Okay, so what went wrong? I was emotionally involved. I switched and I used all my emotion, which I can't do. And in the corporate world, we're always told you have to remove the emotion from all the situations. In the theatre world, it's all about emotion. It's all about giving an experience and telling people and to create experiences for our customers here, to be emotional, to be happy, to be incredible. I was missing the context. I didn't understand how Gary was feeling. I didn't really see his point of view. You know, I couldn't speak to somebody like that. And in his point of view, he was losing his job. He was having to go back. You know, it was a horrible situation for him. And I wasn't being a leader. You know, as soon as I lose my temper, all bets are off, and nobody trusts me. Nobody believes what I'm saying. Well, they might believe it, but it's not a good look. So I needed to change. So I'm constantly doing that still. How do you change? Okay, you need to be open to change in the first place. So I could have walked into HR and said, absolutely not, this is the way, this is how I do it, this is how we run it in the theatre, this is what you should be doing, this is how we've done it, this is how I've learned it. The last 20 years when I've been performing, people have spoken to me like this all the time. Okay, I could have said that, or I could have stepped back and gone, okay, well, hold on, what do I need to do here? How do I need to adapt? I needed to be aware of the bigger picture. You need to always be aware of the bigger picture. What's the other person's perspective? What's the big picture here? How do I step out of this situation and look down at it and go, right, okay, how can I understand this better? You need to adapt to your environment. You need to pick up on the behaviours or the situations or things that are pushing you. HR told me pretty clearly. That's how you do it. So that's how it helps. So that's what I'm learning. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I think everybody needs to do, and everybody should try and do while they're here working. But most of all, it's all about love. What we do on the gondola rides, right? So that's love. An emotion is love, love is an emotion. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sing for you all. I need your help. So I'm going to sing. When I'm going to hit your eye like a big piece of pie, that's amore. And you sing. That's amore. My God, when the moon hits your eye like a big piece of pie, that's amore. That's amore. When the world seems to shine like you've had too much wine, that's amore. That's amore. And you sing Vita Bella. Start to play, tippy play, like a gay tarantella. Just like Fastafazool, that's amore. That's amore. When you dance down the street with the clouds at your feet, you're in love. When you walk in a dream, and you know you're not dreaming, Senor. Napoli, that's amore. Hey!
Okay, so that wasn't bad. So okay, here's the plan. all the speakers, put them on last, yeah. It takes us into the break. So all the speakers, what we're going to do now is we're going to come on stage, we'll do the photo, because some of the speakers need to run away. In the meantime, there's coffee and